Ralph Rennick began this foundation and tradition of being journalistically sound.
He really wanted to make sure that the essential information got on and that meaty topics were covered in a very substantial way.
The basic core in every journalist's beating heart is that we are about telling stories that have real impact and impact real people.
No story has influenced South Florida more than Cuba. And 50 years ago, this past January, when Fidel Castro seized power, WTVJ was there.
Our cameras had been with him in the mountains, and now we're in Havana waiting his arrival. WTVJ viewers saw the drama of the Cuban Revolution before anybody else in the United States. We were the first local television station to cover the island's trouble. We followed it ever since. What is the relationship between you and Mr. Urrutia today? Who is making the decisions in Cuba?
Of course. You can be sure I am a strong man at all, and I don't want to be either.
Oh, Castro told me he didn't want to be a strong man. But then came the trial in the sports arena in Havana, now on the record books as the judicial proceeding witnessed by the most people in history. They jammed in to see former Batista strongman Jesus Sosa Blanco sentenced to death. These WTVJ films have been shown around the world, but as you say, we've seen them first here in Miami.
When the whole Mariel thing started, I was actually sent to Key West, and I was there when the very first boat came into Key West.
WTVJ cameras captured the enormity of the Mariel boat lift in 1980 as more than 100,000 Cubans flooded into South Florida, changing the landscape of our community forever.
I don't think anybody had any idea what was to come.
The Cuban rafter crisis of 1994 brought a new set of powerful images from the Florida Straits.
The only way I can describe it was a wave coming out of the water of people on rafts. I mean, there were hundreds of them, and it literally looked like a movie.
This is the story in the Straits of...
It was so compelling that I don't think I'm quite ever going to recover from the sight of those people so desperate to get off of an island, to get away from a dictator, to get away from the economics and the politics, so desperate they would take to the Straits of Florida in inner tubes.
Miami is no stranger to celebrities. In 1964, the Beatles' first trip to America featured a stop in Miami.
Yeah, welcome back to Miami. Will too. Yeah, it's great.
And yes, they rehearsed in front of WTVJ cameras at the Deauville Hotel.
Close your eyes. How sweet it is.
The Jackie Gleason Show called Miami Beach home.
And all the remotes that were done from South Florida were done by the WTVJ people.
But no one entertained us like Cassius Clay.
What do you say, Cash? How about that? Put that down. Put that down.
Ain't that a pretty song?
Put it down. We want to talk to you.
That's Dee Dee Sharp singing. And she's the world's greatest singer, and I'm the world's greatest fighter.
You got a new car? What's this, a new car?
Yeah, this is my new car, and I got a new chauffeur, Jimmy, the best chauffeur in the world, and I want everybody out there to know that I'm with Dee Dee Sharp. That's her.
How about listen? Where's he?
I'm talking about this pretty girl, Dee Dee Sharp, the world's greatest singer, and you talking about that big ugly bear.
We just established an unbelievable relationship, and when he saw us at the 5th Street gym, when he was working out, if anything we wanted.
What about the strategy for this fight, Cassius? Anything I should really expect to see?
Well, you know how great I am. I don't have to tell you about my strategy. Let my trainer tell you. Bodini, come here. Bodini, tell him, what are we going to do? You're going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. That's what we're going to do. You heard it. That's my trainer. He'll tell you.
But it wasn't always fun and games. Racial tensions across the South reached a boiling point in the 50s, and after Governor Leroy Collins declared segregation morally wrong, 2 public schools in Miami integrated.
We hope to eliminate racial discrimination in all public accommodations here in the city of Miami.
Do you plan to go beyond the demonstration which you have here to other places?
Yes, we certainly do. We intend to carry it into all areas where there is racial discrimination.
South Floridians have always kept an eye on the tropics, and in 1960, the first big one of the television era hit.
This is a very dangerous hurricane. It's taking about everything I can do to stand here.
While we chat for a moment about this storm and what she did to Florida, we'll be looking at the film on the air.
But it was 32 years later when WTVJ talked an entire community through a night of terror.
The most impactful event in South Florida history, in my mind.
Hurricane Andrew was an incredibly tough time because the people covering the story were also the ones impacted by the story.
Listening to people on the telephone tell us that their roofs were being ripped off.
Well, how long?
We have a long time to go, okay? We have hours to go here before this is over.
When a lot of folks think about that horrible night of Hurricane Andrew, they think about the many, many hours that we were on the air when nobody else was.
We had a major story, and once you got into it, you didn't get out of it. You lived it.
It's a strange position to find myself in, but I'm laying on the floor of the car. My head's right up here on the seat. This is the reason I'm sort of sideways. Surviving Hurricane Andrew on the floorboards of a car was, well, it was an amazing experience because it took people to a place that so many people could relate to as their houses were falling apart. But I would never do it again. Talk about learning the real fury of Mother Nature.